More automation, more AI, and definitely more transparency by design.
Wow, great job.
At the 50-year financial modeling.
We are proud to be part of this incredible journey. How to build a platform that actually works for modern infrastructure finance. Hi everyone, and welcome to Dev Talk by CHI Software. I am Alexey, the CTO of CHI Software. Today we are talking about an extraordinary platform, a real game changer. One of these will shape their financial infrastructure and financial products for our planet. Banyan Infrastructure. It's a next generation platform that's transforming how clean energy and infrastructure projects are financed, automating workflows, connecting stakeholders, and creating a single source of truth across all the investment lifecycle. We at CHI Software, we are proud to be part of this incredible journey, helping to build and to scale parts of Banyan's powerful, all-enhanced financial platform. And today we're gonna talk with someone who actually knows the code and the story inside out. Our technical lead, Anton. Anton, welcome on board.
Hi Alexey, thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Doing great, thanks. Excited to finally talk about this project. It's been a wild but super rewarding ride for us.
Great. Please tell me about yourself.
Sure. I've been working as an engineer for almost 8 years. I've been involved in a wide variety of projects, out of which there are some of them like database migration tool, CRM, financial, and shop floor management systems. For the last 2 years, I've been combining the roles of technical lead of Java department at CHI Software and the lead of a team on the Banyan project we're about to talk about.
Okay, sounds like you're really cool technical person. And do you like Java and its ecosystem?
Yep, Java is a great language. It's my primary language. I love it for such advantages as completeness and conciseness. It was a king of programming languages for the last 2 decades. When I started, I chose Java over C++ and other languages because of its simplicity and easy learning path. When you choose Java, you know you'll always have a job at hand, because there are plenty of systems written over the years that need maintenance, upgrading, and even rewriting. Java is traditionally a great choice for enterprise, web, big data, cloud-native apps, and even games.
Perfect. Thank you. So let's take a look on our project. Can you please describe the essence?
The goal was to bring together different financial tools, integrate CRM systems, investment tracking, reporting, all under one roof. Think multiple portfolios, real-time data flows, and strict compliance all in one platform. It was like building a financial command center for us.
And how did the project start?
When CHI software teams began onboarding, the development was already in full swing. It was our first challenge to get up to speed with the internal development team, get familiar with the features that are finished and progress with limited documentation they had. Then we were handed the customer's roadmap and priorities and got going.
As I know, CHI Software is not the only team that worked on the project. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. The project is a large one with multiple components, so it was logical for Banyan to diversify the tasks. We worked as a dedicated teams. Engineers, designers, QAs, even base support. We had our people everywhere that gave us a really deep cross-functional perspective.
So what part of Banyan project did your team work with? Just a few words to lead us further along this conversation.
Yeah, I'll try to compress this information as much as possible. Let's divide this into 3 functional blocks. First, internal tools. We built dashboards, scorecards, collaborative document editors, and all sorts of client-facing components. Second, integrations. It's a major one. We connected accounting tools, document platforms, CRMs, each with its own logic and structure. And third, strategic input. We worked closely with the product team to analyze trends, make recommendations, and design smarter features.
That's quite the spread. So, stepping a little bit back, what were their business problems that our client, Banyan Infrastructure, was solving with their approach?
Mhm. First, the big one is managing multiple portfolios. Client needed real-time visibility into liquidity, risk, and cash flow, but without a central tool, tracking dozens of investments with different timelines was messy. We helped build a solution that gave a full oversight with real-time dashboards, smart cash flow tracking, and alerts that replaced hours of manual work. Next, compliance and security. Banyan had to be secure. We built a flexible, role-based access system that allowed safe collaboration without losing control. Next one, working with external partners. Vendors, contractors, and financial partners needed a better way to collaborate. So we added tools like document editors, checklists, questionnaires to make the team work easy, without back and forth emails. And finally, data integration. Banyan was built on disconnected tools, which slowed everything down. We built an integration engine that connected CRMs, accounting systems, and real-time data. Of course, there were other challenges as well. For example, the long adaptation of new users, too much manual work, which created risk of inaccuracy in reporting, but more on that later. Spoiler alert, we managed to overcome those challenges as well.
Wow, great job. But let's step a little bit back to the challenges you shared. What were the major technical challenges?
Integration, hands down. We had to connect tools like Oracle Fusion, Salesforce, QuickBooks, Zero, HubSpot, you name it. Each came with different APIs, data schemas, and security models.
Why not to use Mulesoft or SnapLogic for this case?
Well, both Mulesoft and SnapLogic are kind of all-in-one low-code integration platforms. They would make it for a small, limited POC solution, but that's not what the customer needed. The client emerged as a startup, but they wanted to move fast and take a niche in sustainable infrastructure financing and eventually turn into a market leader. Business logic was sometimes so tangled, complex, and prone to changes, and the customer had its own clients, each of which had a backlog of wanted features, and it never ended. Because of all this, we needed a fully fledged application that we could control from top to bottom. Sometimes rolling your own is the smartest play long term.
Got you. Thanks. And what were their technologies chosen for the project, and why was this decision made?
For the backend, we used Java with Spring Boot. It's reliable and scalable. Frontend was Vue.js with the Quasar framework, great for building complex UIs fast. Data was stored in PostgreSQL on RDS, and we used AWS for hosting and OAuth 2 for secure auth. The client had a lot of legacy systems, so we needed tools that allowed gradual integration and data reconciliation without full rewrites.
And how does an architecture look like?
Let's look at the diagram. So the user journey started on CloudFront, that is a well-known AWS CDN and caching solution. CloudFront was backed by 4 frontend apps, each of which had its own dedicated S3 bucket. All those 4 frontends hit backend, that was located in a private subnet on Amazon ECS within an ECS service. And we had ECS tasks as a unit of scalability. What else? We have RDS as a data storage here, and it's PostgreSQL. We also used SQS as the internal decoupling layer for long-running computations. So we offloaded some tasks to SQS. Here we also see CI/CD flow that involves Jenkins and ECR. Also, we've got error reporting flow involving CloudWatch, SNS, and Lambda that eventually pushed errors to Slack channel.
Perfect. And what are the layers of quality control you had on the project?
Okay, let's take a look at the pyramid. So our multi-layered QA process starts with developers test. We've got a SonarQube quality gate enabled in CI/CD with required code coverage of 90% and full coverage of the new code. Developers needed to write unit tests for all individual classes or functions and integration tests for new APIs, both external and internal. Then let's talk about QAs we had on the project. We had both manual and automation. We had automated API tests that were running each main branch push. In case of a test failure, developers needed either to update a test or fix inconsistencies. Manual end-to-end testing was a feature-wise daily routine, and it also included a big regression testing ahead of each weekly prod push. Security and performance testing was done regularly in a partial automated, partial manual fashion.
Thank you. How about special features, smart features on a platform?
Oh, we had a few. We implemented a 50-year financial modeling, automated alerts for missed KPIs, and even anomaly detection on fund disbursements and reporting inconsistencies. The system can now notify teams when something's off, before it snowballs. In total, we have integrated more than 100 customized financial and industry metrics that we have been collecting for a long time. But on the other hand, we have strengthened our expertise in the green energy domain.
And from an engineer's perspective, what features are you most proud of?
I would say the analytics engine and the reporting dashboard. Users can see KPIs, financial roll-ups, and even forecast profitability for 50 plus years. Plus, the dashboard is fully customizable, like widgets, but for investment managers. Another notably challenging feature is multi-currency support. The internal subsystem called Metrics Engine was initially created as dollar-based. It was responsible for calculating financial metrics, both actual and forecast, based on formulas, and it was quite a pivotal part of the backend. Banyan wanted to globalize the platform, so we introduced 8 new currencies with fetching real-time exchange rates via NetSuite for accurate conversion.
Nice. How will you evaluate platform performance?
Performance was a hot topic, but not from the beginning. At some point, some user flows were so complex and data got so big that everything got too slow. After that, the top management turned performance to a cross-cutting concern. So all the feature acceptance involves strict response time requirements. The duty of measuring time with various data setups was a manual case. In addition, we did have some automated QA tests for critical features. I should note that loading graphs dashboards with a wide range of historical data could take a while. Database aggregation on the big data is naturally slow. At some point, we started offloading long-running computations to the background threads via Amazon SQS and caching some results with memcached. And it was amazing design solution.
And what was an outcome for Banyan? How did this system transform business operations?
Banyan moved from a patchwork of tools to a unified platform. Manual operations were reduced by 60%, reporting accuracy went up by 50%, and onboarding for new users was 40% faster. Plus, they became more audit-ready, which helped with securing new funding and managing compliance for federal grants.
A little bit of advertising will not hurt here. Please tell me why Banyan choose CHI software.
Well, because we don't just ship code, we solve real business problems. We offered a flexible team, strong domain expertise in FinTech, and fast adaptation to changing client needs. Also, the client appreciated our proactive suggestions on architecture and data design, not just implementation.
Looking forward, where do you see the future of fintech platform like this?
More automation, more AI, and definitely more transparency by design. Clients want tools that predict, not just report, and regulators want systems that track every cent. Platform like this will become the default infrastructure for any business working with long-term financing.
Anton, thanks a lot for the insights.
Thanks, Alexei. It was really nice to share all this with you and with the audience.
And thanks everyone for watching. If you are curious about fintech solutions or want to build something similar, feel free to reach us out at CHI Software. Check the description under the video. You'll find a link to get in touch with us, as well as the link to our client's website, Banyan Infrastructure. Please like, subscribe, and tell us what technical challenges do you face throughout your implementation stuff. And until next Dev Talk. Thank you.